Good morning, everyone. It's almost 4 a.m. and I decided to make a video about Batman. I started replaying Arkham Knight and it got me thinking a lot about how Batman's being portrayed recently. If you clicked on this video, then you're probably already familiar with the S-Squad game and the infamous Batman scene from that. The other example I can think of is the Harley Quinn TV show, which was fine as a show. I didn't mind it. It definitely had its moments. But let's clarify what I mean when I say Batman is being vilified.
Joker used to be real good at hurting people with words. But you, boop. Even when you're evil, you're still too good. You had a good run, Brucey. Flying around Gotham, punching bad guys, cleaning up the streets, causing long-term mental and emotional damage to everyone you knew. It's our turn now.
Even when you're bad, you're still too good. Harley here really feels like the writer's mouthpiece, causing emotional trauma, beating the crap out of villains. And don't get me wrong, I think there is precedence for this, and I think it's representative of over-policing, which has always been a hot button issue in America, especially over the last couple of years. I think this idea that he is a symbol of something that represents a problem society makes sense on a superficial level. He was rich, born into privilege. He definitely uses his fists in lieu of the justice system, and dare I say, he's white. But allow me to present an alternate take. Number one, Batman suffers from PTSD, which isn't exactly a secret. I don't think anybody's surprised by this. Watching your parents get murdered in front of you as a child tends to have that effect on people. Batman fans know that his villains are unique and that they are certain reflections of his personality and different ideas of his trauma. Joker represents that all it takes is one bad day to turn into a villain versus a hero. Two-Face represents his dual personality, and Penguin represents the idea that furries are born of trauma. But I think that games and TV shows and the representation of Batman currently are missing an opportunity to really delve into mental illness. Batman would present an incredible conduit into actually exploring the kind of mental traumas that people suffer and how to cope with it instead of letting yourself be defined by your mental illness or neurodivergence. That's the first one. Not exactly a hot take. I think anyone who's a fan of the Batman as a character or an idea is very familiar with his villains and mental illness and how he's kind of crazy. The second one I want to talk about is his tough on crime approach. I already briefly mentioned it, and I get why, as a society, the idea of a rich guy beating up less fortunate street criminals is distasteful. But I also think that there is a certain lost opportunity in exploring Batman and his fight against corruption. Crime families, corrupt politicians, corrupt police officers. These are all things that Batman regularly deals with, and those are unequivocally considered problems no matter where you might fall on the political spectrum. All I'm saying is there are ways to look at the problems of modern society and use the Batman universe as a way to explore it without also turning Batman into the bad guy. Okay, I've really been burying the lead here because this last point is what I really wanted to talk about, and I just felt like I needed two other things to make a video. There's a comic where Batman grabs onto the lasso of truth that belongs to Wonder Woman and tells her what his name is, and he says Batman, and because the lasso has to tell him the truth, he is telling the truth when he says he is Batman, and that is his name. Bruce Wayne is the alter ego. It's the front he puts on in public, in front of everybody. He only feels comfortable expressing his true self, dressing the way he wants, and acting as he truly is when he's away from the public eye. Even getting to this point took years of struggle and self-discovery. Is this idea sounding familiar to anyone? Look, even if you don't like the idea of Batman representing this idea, you have to admit there's a sort of hilarious irony that the kind of people vilifying Batman for the aforementioned characteristics would absolutely love to do this kind of representation, yet, as far as I can tell, they're completely missing it. Which maybe gamers just aren't ready for trans rights in their live service games. If you made it to the end, thank you, but also why? It's literally 5 a.m. and I only made this because I couldn't sleep. If someone already made this connection, shoot me a link in the comments because I'm not going to look. I'm going to bed. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I will not be making another one. Goodbye.